let's talk about polyphonic analog synths. The main one was the Sequential Circuits Prophet, the main one that Tony Banks used in Genesis, and probably solo stuff. In fact, I think every Genesis tour in the 80s featured a Prophet. Not talking about string synths, but beginning with the Polymoog synthesizer in 1978. It was used on, and then there were three, and probably a solo album after that. And then there were three tours. Then about 79 or so, he got the Yamaha CS80, which was a beast. Never made it on the road with Genesis, but it shows up in A Curious Feeling and Duke, probably Abacab. I suspect that the Dodo main riff in the verses was CS80, but I don't know. But then in 1980, he got the Sequential Circuits Prophet 5, which you see two clones on the screen. That was 61 keys, 5 voices. And then a year later, beginning with Abacab, he had the Sequential Circuits Prophet 10, which was 2 manuals, 10 voices. And you could have, like, I believe, because I've never played one of these, you could have 5 voices on one sound, 5 voices on another, either across one keyboard or 2 keyboards, or you could have one big 10-voice sound across both keyboards. So in 1980 on Duke, the album, it's all over the place. I'm not going to get into which songs it's on the album, because I only do the live stuff. And it sat atop the piano, the Yamaha CP70 on the Duke tour. Then when he got the Prophet 10, it replaced the Hammond organ, and then the Quadra moved on top of the piano. And then the Prophet 5 hung around on stage right on the Abacab tour, the Encore tour, Mama tour, for Who Done It. They just kept that over there for that. So you can do all of these sounds. You don't need a Prophet 10 if you have plugins, right? So there's a lot of modern day Prophets from Sequential themselves. Dave Smith has the Prophet 6, which I have. You've seen it in my videos. I use it live. It is amazing. I can't recommend it enough. And I think it sounds better than both of these plugins, obviously, right? It probably does. But there were some things I just couldn't get. You'll see in my videos. I would say everything that I've made in the videos, I'm getting like 95% there with the plugins. Whereas with my real Prophet, it sounds like it. And I can tweak it a little more minutely, I guess. And then there's a Sequential last year released the Prophet 5 and Prophet 10. They look the same. It doesn't have 2 manuals. And with the recent update, it looks like you can make the Prophet 10 split it, layer it. So that's pretty cool. I wish I had one. But the Prophet 6 is great. And I can't afford the Prophet 10, so that is settled. All of the new Dave Smith Prophets, the 6, the 5, the 10, maybe there's others. I'm not really familiar with the Rev 2. And both of these plugins, here's one from Arturia called Prophet V. Here's one from this company. Is it UHE? 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 I've never heard anyone say that. I've never thought about it until now. They make the Repro 5. And so both of these are 2 plugins in one. This is the Prophet 5 and the Prophet VS, which is a vector synthesizer. Ew. I have it muted. I don't even want to hear what this sounds like. I don't like these. I don't like these sounds. And then the Repro, I think you just buy Repro, and there's Repro 5 and then Repro 1. And the 1 is the monophonic Pro 1 from Sequential, like their mini Moog. And I'm sure that's cool. I just haven't played around with it. So I think as a Prophet owner, I think Repro 5 is way better than the Arturia one. The Arturia one is really cool. I don't mean to be a snob, but then the Repro 5 is very resource heavy. So but it's optimized now for M1. So if you have a newer Mac, I've used it live and I haven't run into any problems with it. So there you go. And for both of these sounds, if I don't mention it in each video for each sound, I'm running it through a Boss Chorus emulation and Amplitude 5. And then for the organ sounds, I bring in the MXR Phase 100 model that's also an Amplitude 5. If you get or have any of these Prophet emulations, whether the ones from Sequential, the hardware analog ones, or these plugins, they all know what we came here for, which is they all have the original presets. Isn't that cool? That's what Tony Banks had. Where we go? Here we go. Look, it even has the VS presets. That's pretty cool. So all the Prophet 5 ones are here, recreated. There's about 40 sounds, I guess. So every video that I'm making, save for the Pad and Dodo, is going to be taking a preset, finding which one, and then tweaking it. I made them so I'm not talking, because I get feedback loops when I talk, and I probably ramble too much. So the rest of them, it's pretty dry. You're just going to watch me clicking around on the screen and listening to what I play. So if that interests you and you like sound design, I think you'll be surprised how easy it is. If you don't watch it, because it's really, really boring. Anyway, let's program our prophets.